What's up guys, Shane again, and I have a Nightmare budget deck for you today. I really like this deck because I think it's very unique, and if you decide to build it, you can actually put your own personal touch on the deck, and we'll get into that as I explain the deck, but this deck is very brutal. It's really funny. I really like it, so yeah, let's just get right into it. Alright, so Nightmare. This guy is hilarious. All of his attacks are going to get +2 damage if their printed damage is double their printed speed. So like you have 2 speed for 4 damage, you get +2 damage for free. You get like 3 speed for 6 damage, +2 damage for free. You have 5 speed for 10 damage, +2 damage for free, and so on. So basically, every attack in here has a printed damage that is double the printed speed, so all your attacks are going to get 2 damage for free. Now the thing that makes Nightmare busted is his response. Once per turn, after your blocked attack resolves, you add it back to your hand. So like you play an attack, and then your opponent blocks it, and then you just pick it up, and you can play it again if you want. So it's really funny. Now, the enhance, you do the enhance all the time. If your opponent blocks your attack, they mill 3 cards, and then they burn 1 vitality. They basically lose 1 health for each attack that they mill over. So like you usually hit 1 with this or 0, but like you always do that first, really, just because if they block, you have a chance to deal like an additional 1 damage or 2 damage. You know, you can hit the Yahtzee and hit 3 attacks, but it's very rare. But the best thing about this character, when they block your attack, you bounce it back to your hand. Now, the reason why I built this as a budget deck is because in the new Soul Calibur set, we have another throw. So this is Vicious Madness. This is a 4 speed, 8 damage throw. So with Nightmare, this is a 4 speed for 10 damage throw. Now, if they block it, they're gonna mill cards for Nightmare, maybe burn 1. They're gonna take 5 damage because it's a throw. So even if they completely block a throw, it still deals half damage rounded up. And then you can just respond Nightmare to bounce this back to your hand. You just do it again, 10 damage throw, you know? So yeah, this is really good. Now there was also another 4 speed for 8 damage throw in the Yu Yu Hakusho set. And this one here is just the same thing. It's a 4 speed for 10 damage throw. So you have 8 throws in your deck that are 10 damage because you're Nightmare. So they block it, they take 5, they mill cards, so they basically take 6. 6 or 5, whatever, and then you just bounce back to hand and play it again. Now you can only bounce once per turn, but still you're tossing these 10 damage throws at them, so you're chipping away for 5 every single time. Sometimes they don't even block, because they're like, well, what's the point in blocking? Because if I block, it just feels bad. It bounces back to your hand, you play it again, and I gotta block again, you know, and they're 4 speed throws. So yeah, that's why I'm laughing, because this deck is hilarious, because you're just tossing throws at them, and the opponent's just kind of in a catch-22 situation. Now, in addition to these throws, another card that made these good, I'm going to talk about this foundation for a bit, Soul of the Sword. So this card here, well, first off, this deck is built off of the evil symbol. So every card in this deck has evil, except for 2 cards, but I'll get to them later. This Fire Enhance means that your character needs to have the fire symbol in order to use that ability. So basically, you discard the top 3 cards of your deck, and then your attack gets +1 damage. So your 10 damage throws become 11 damage. So then when they block, they take half damage rounded up, so they take 6 now instead of 5. So like this card allows them to chip for more damage. So you're like, chip for 6, pick it up, chip for 6, or you don't block and you just take 11, you know? So yeah, there's that. There's also another card, Memories of Fallen Warriors. So this card here, after an attack is partially blocked, it gets +1 damage. So basically when you have a throw, you have a mid throw, so it's like, well, if I block with the mid, I take half anyways. So like I can block with the low, I can block with the high, I'll still take half. Okay, well, I'll increase the damage. So let's say I have one of these out, I play this, it's 10 damage because of Nightmare. You block with the low, I respond, give it 1 damage, now it's 11 damage. During the damage step, you take 6. So like you have 8 of these 10 damage throws, and then 8 pieces to make them even more damage. So you just chip your opponent for more. So yeah, that's like the core of the deck. Now, we're gonna get to the personalization part. This is really funny. I also play 4 copies of Lightning Torture. So this is a 2 speed for 4 damage throw, so it's a 6 damage throw. However, if there are at least 2 characters among your staging area and discard pile, then this attack gets +3 damage. So basically, this card was clarified where you need at least 1 character in your discard pile, because you have your character in your staging area, in order for this to get 3 damage. So you need to find a character in your discard pile. So we're actually playing some characters. Now, this sounds stupid, but trust me, this is super good. So with these characters, right, so they need to have the evil symbol, first of all, because you need to block, because this is an evil deck. But these are +0 mid blocks with 6 checks. So, like, the defense is really good. Like, when I'm playing this deck, it's funny because when I was testing it, it was like, well, I know you have the buddy block in hand, you're just going to block it, because, like, +0 mid blocks anything. So, like, these are actually really good. So basically what happens is that you want to find at least one character in your discard pile, and then you can give this +3 damage. So then it's a 9 damage throw. Basically the same thing as a 10 damage throw, because when they block, they take 5, and then you can just Nightmare, bounce it back, play it again. Usually what happens is you play the 5 difficulty throw, then you pick it up, play it again, then you finish them off with these things. So it's really funny. Now, the personalization part comes with the characters. I chose to play Vicious, and Bison, and Melina, but you can pick any characters you want as long as they have the evil symbol. So, like, you know, if you're into the waifus, you can pick Tira, Morgan, Ivy. Let's go on UFS Ultra right now. We got UFSUltra.com. All right, I'm gonna come around. Okay, so let's see, standard character with the evil symbol. Let's see who we can play here. So there's Astroth, Inferno, Tira, Rando, Suzaku, Kevin Broberg. Let's go. Dejanay. We got Turnloose, Ivy, Taki, Akuma. You can play Akuma. You can play Katana. Oh wow, so you can play Katana and Melina. You know, then you got Kotal Khan, Quan Chi, Scorpion, Shinnok, Mad Pro, Vicious. Dude, there's like, yeah, you can like customize this deck with whatever characters you want. Like I said, I just picked Melina and Bison and Vicious, but you can choose whatever characters you want. So it's actually pretty sweet because this deck's blocking is actually pretty good because Nightmare usually has a problem with blocking, but because you're playing character blocks, you can actually like block because you got +0 mid with 6 checks. Like there's more 6 checks in this deck too. And then you got the like this card here has a +1 block mod, which is great. There's also a +1 low block that is really also good too. So yeah, that's basically you have 12 throws in this deck. You have 4 Vicious Madness, 4 Life Force Thread, 4 Lightning Torture. So these are all mid throws, right? So let's get into the next attack that we have. We're gonna run 3 Skull Chopper. So this is combo mid attack. Well, you have, like I just said, you have 12 throws. And the combo enhance, you lose 2 life to give this attack 2 speed and 4 damage. So what happens is that you like play this 10 damage throw, they block, you pick it up, play it again, 10 damage throw, 11 if you have that foundation out, you know, so they're like chipping for 6. So they've already like blocked this twice, or they just don't block and take like 10 or 11, which seems awful. Then you play this, you combo, give this +2 speed, +4 damage. It already got +2 from this, so it comes in and it's, 4 high for 10. So you're throwing 4 mid for 10, 4 mid for 10, 4 high for 10, you know, so like this combo's off of 12 attacks in the deck, so it's just another 10 damage attack really that you toss at him. Now the other attack to round out the attack slots is 4 Takedown. So this card here, if this attack is not blocked, you discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an attack card and then you put it in your hand. So like with Nightmare, right, you just toss this, all right, 2 low for 6. If you block it, mill 3, pick it up, play it again, you want to block it again. So like this drains their blocks, or they can just not block it so you don't get Nightmare's effects, and then you just mill cards till you find an attack. So it's like it's like the perfect attack to round out the entire thing. Because usually what happens is like, oh, you have the mids, you got the Skull Chopper, they're like, oh, hit him with a low. So like you cover all attack zones in this deck. But usually what this is a block. You're usually attacking with your attacks that don't have blocks, like as you saw earlier, like Life Force Thread doesn't have a block. Vicious Madness is a +3 block, hard to block with. This doesn't have a block, and Lightning Torture doesn't have a block either. Like even though these attacks don't have blocks, you're tossing them on your turn, so like yeah, it really doesn't matter. So yeah, 4 Takedown is the perfect complement for the deck. Okay, so that is like the main attack portion of the deck and damage of the deck. So let's get into the foundations. We have 4 Hell's Reach, just a super aggressive foundation. Commit this to pass a check, flip it, ready it, attack him again. Just a solid foundation. It's like 1 foundation that counts as 2. Azure Nightmare, same thing. You commit this to pass a check, discard a card, you get to ready it. This is also a 6 check, so it's another 6 check in the deck that is really good. So again, 1 foundation that basically counts as 2, perfect for aggro decks. Then we have 4 copies of Orphaned Alchemist. This is another 6 check, a really good low block for a foundation. Now this card here, this is really good because you can flip this and reveal the top card of your deck. So if you feel like you're gonna check bad, you can just flip and just check the top card of your deck, or peek at the top card is actually the correct term. So you flip and you get to look at it, and it's like, oh, it's a good check, I'm fine, I'm down with playing another attack. And your opponent sees it too, so they're like, well, if I block this, he's gonna pick it up, play it again, check a 5, you know? So, yeah, or if you flip a 3, then you know to build, or you can mill it off your deck with Soul of the Sword. You're like, oh, I have a 3 check on top of my deck, okay, I'll just mill, you know? Because like, you usually, like, you don't always need to do this first to push the damage. Like, if you know you have a limited amount of foundations and checking a 3 is going to end your turn, then you have both these on the board, you just do this first and check to see if you have a bad check on your deck or not. So yeah, Orphaned Alchemist just helps you peek and secure your checks. Now we also have 4 Profane Sanctuary. This card's really important because one of the things that stops Nightmare is the breaker keyword. So breaker is like, you know, if it's breaker 2 and they block with a card that's breaker 2, that means that the next attack you play or next card you play has +2 to the difficulty. So you play your 5 difficulty throw, they block it with a breaker 2, right? So you pick it up. If you play it again, it's +2 difficulty. You gotta play it on a 7, which is like rough. So if you have this out, you just flip this and cancel the breaker, you know? So it just helps you stay on the offensive. Also, the enhance once per turn, where you discard the top 2 cards of both players' decks is really important because, you know, if your opponent is stacking their deck with a bunch of things, then you can just say, nope, mill 2, and you get to break up the knowledge that they have. Or, like we just talked about, Orphaned Alchemist, you flip to reveal the top card. If it's a 3 check, both players discard the top 2 cards of their deck. So now there's like less of a chance you're going to check a 3, you know? So Profane Sanctuary is just perfect for the deck. Now we have 3 Demon Mutation. This was a card that was actually not that great when it first came out, but they decided to put another 4-speed, 8 damage throw in the game. So this card here is just, you commit for +4 damage on your throw. So like your 11 damage throw becomes a 15 damage throw. A lot of times what happens is that this is so exhausting to block, right? Because 4 speed for 10 damage, pick it up, 4 speed for 10 damage, and then like, because they blocked it twice because they don't want to take 10 or 11 or whatever, then like it's 4 speed, so they've drained their blocks, they have cards in their card pool, and they're probably committed out. So like when you play another one, like it's probably going through, so you can just finish them off by tapping your Demon Mutations, giving it free damage, you know? So also this is really good, +1 low block, perfect for the deck. It's also the Desperation Breaker 1, like if it ever matters. But yeah, you have your +1 low, you have your +1 high, and then you got your buddy blocks as +0 mid. So like this deck's blocking is actually really good. You have 3 copies of Outworld's Heiress. This card solves problems on the board. If they have like a foundation that is gonna like mess with your plans, you just lose life, remove this, bounce it back to their hand. Now you don't have to deal with it. It's also good stun hate as well. Like if they're playing a stun deck and they're gonna stun you out so you can't block, you just lose life so you can block and then take nothing. So yeah, Outworld's Heiress is really good. 2 copies of True Identity. This card just helps you pass your checks. So commit this, and then your checks to play attacks get +1 for the rest of the turn. So like when you're going on a 5, 5, then like this is on a 6, then like this is on a 6. Like a majority of your checks are 5, so like you can't always count on checking 6s. So this card just helps you play your attacks and just finish off the opponent. So perfect card for the deck. Then 1 Ninja Outcast. So this is a momentum outlet. You can discard a momentum, and after your opponent plays an ability on a weapon card, you just cancel it. So like a lot of cards are weapons because of the 2 Soul Caliber sets. Like pretty much every card had the weapon keyword on it, like attack and asset. You can cancel like that stuff. Some foundations even have the weapon keyword too, so you can cancel stuff on that. Or if your opponent decides to reversal you, you can just flip this, add the reversal back to their hand, and just continue attacking them. You know, so they got to block again to reversal you. So yeah, really good card for the deck. Now, rounding out the deck, there are 4 action cards. 2 copies of I Grant You Death. This was very popular in a lot of the Nightmare decks that were around Nationals, and it's still good. So the best way to use this card is as a surprise card. So after your opponent plays a response, you play this, you burn for 2 life, and you burn your opponent for 4. So like what usually happens with Nightmare, you're chipping them down so much with these throws, and like you put them down to like 3 life or 2 life or whatever, and then the moment they play a responsibility, you kill them with this action. And it's like there's not much they can do, because it's like it's not like this is an attack they can block, so you're just burning them for 4. You know, it's like 4 unblockable damage when they play response. And like pretty much every deck plays responses, because like if you're not playing responses, then you're not playing UFS. There's 3 abilities: enhances, responses, and forms, and like every deck plays all of them. So you know, yeah, so I grant you death. You can just steal games with this. It's really nice. Now, earlier I talked about a card that doesn't have the evil symbol, and that is the Dark Tournament Looms. This card has chaos, which what Nightmare has. So you got to be careful when playing this card, but this is really good in the deck. So what happens usually is that you toss your throw, you pick it up, play it again, or they take 10, whatever. It goes to your momentum, right? When your opponent attacks you, you play this, because you have you don't have a card pool, so you don't need to chain symbols with this card. So then you play this, you remove it, you add your momentum, you add your throw back to your hand, and then you draw a card. So that now you have your throw again to hit him with on next turn. So it's perfect because it recycles your attacks. Also, speaking of this attack here, Life Force Thread, this has a chaos symbol. So if you already have momentum, like let's just say you tossed like a Vicious Madness turn 2 or whatever, right? This goes in your momentum. You can play Life Force Thread, play the Dark Tournament Looms, because it chains off a chaos with your character and the cards previously behind it. So you add your Vicious Madness back to your hand, draw a card. Now you can play this off of the evil chain. So like this is super good because it recycles your attacks. So yeah, that is the Nightmare deck. Let me show you how this deck works. All right. So we're gonna roll some dice because it's fun. This is opponent's. No, let's just say that was my roll. I rolled a 3. They roll. Okay, they go first. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh. So if we're going second, we can do some meme stuff. We can review this, and now we have 9 damage. Let's fucking do it. I'm gonna keep this hand, dude. All right. So they go first. Build whatever. I review this card. Draw. Oh geez. Okay, check this out. On a 4, 3, 4. +2 damage. Enhance. It's a 9 damage throw, turn 1. What are they gonna do? Block, take 5? Sounds good. Here's another one on a 5. Boom, check a 5. 2 damage for Nightmare. +3 damage. 9 damage throw. You gonna take it? Take 5? Sure, sounds good. Crazy. So now we play this. Now we play this on a 5. Play this on a 4. Busted. We're gonna take both momentum. Now we have 29 life. That's another stupid thing about Nightmare. He has a ton of life. So like we're probably to block with this. So like 5 speeds, a lot. 5 + 1 is 6. 3, sick. We're doing it. We'll probably take like 15 or whatever. It's fine. So we draw for our turn. They've already taken 10. That's nasty. Oh yes, yes. Oh, before we do that, whoop, skirt. We're gonna use True Identity for +1 to all of our checks. So we're gonna put this 1 right here, signifying we get +1 to our checks. Let's not forget that. So, hold on. I'm doing this all wrong. Beep, boop, bop. All right, check it out. We're gonna play this Vicious Madness on a 5. Check to 6, sounds good. So this comes in at +2. Now, we always enhance with Nightmare first, because like they might have Bang, so to seal Nightmare, so just enhance with Nightmare as your first enhance, pretty much always. So enhance Nightmare. Vicious Madness, you don't really have to lose 2 for this attack can't be partially blocked. You kind of want to conserve your life. Just treat it as like that effect isn't there, unless you know that like that effect's going to kill them. So we're not going to burn for this effect, but we are going to mill 3 for Soul the Sword, making it a 11 damage throw. So like what? They're going to take this 11 damage and like they take 11 and go to 21 damage they've taken. I think they're going to block it. So they block, they mill 3. Let's just say they didn't hit anything for the mill. They didn't hit any attacks. So they're gonna take 6. We respond Nightmare, bounce this back to our hand. Play it again on a 5. Check a 3, 4, 5. Enhance Nightmare. First off, this comes in at +2. Enhance Nightmare. Flip Hell's Reach. Ready it. Soul the Sword. 1, 2, 3. Seems good. +1 damage. That is another 11 damage throw. So they block, take 6. Sure. If they didn't block that, then they're dead. All right, we'll play another one on a 6. Check a 6. Busted. Mill 3. 1, 2, 3 for +1 damage. I don't know, like they attacked us on their last turn. Do they have anything left? I don't know. Can they block this? Let's just say they magically block this. They take another 6. That's already 28. That kills most characters. Let me just finish them off with a Skull Chopper on a 6. 5, 6. Oh, this card's so busted. True Identity. Okay, so it comes in at 2 damage. Enhanced Nightmare, burn for 2 life. Give it 2 speed and 4 damage. Then you mill. 1, a 2, a 3. Okay. Busted. They're dead. They're absolutely dead. There's no way they survive 3 throws. Well, first off, we hit him with these 9 damage throws off the bat. And this is going second. Crazy. Let's do another one. This deck's fun. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to shuffle this up, do another one. What a stupid deck. Characters, man. Character blocks. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. All right, let's do a game where we just build first. That was pretty crazy. We drew 2 of those lightning tortures and then the character. That's funny going second. You review the character, play the lightning tortures, check a 3, didn't matter. Sometimes you gotta have big balls with this deck. It's funny when like you lose a die roll, you go second, your opponent builds 5 and they feel all good and you're like, well shit, you built 5 on turn 1. All right, I'm just gonna hard check this throw. So you play the throw, chunk them for 10 on the first turn. If they block, you just bounce it back, play it again. It's crazy, dude. All right, so we're gonna try this again. So we're gonna go ahead and draw our 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can build pretty good. This is a good hand. So this. That's on a 3. Boom. Sounds good. All right. So now, turn 2. Draw our hand. Oh, that's disgusting. Do you have a character? We don't have a character yet. We don't have a card to make us mill characters. Ooh, we have Profane Sanctuary. That can make us mill a character. Whatever. On a 5. 6. Busted. Comes in at +2. So, let's see. What do we check? Well, we drew a lot of attacks, so what's the chances of us checking an attack? Probably really low. All right. 10 damage throw. You're going to take it, you block it. Sure, you block, you take 5. Hold on a second. There we go. Play it again. Oh, let's go. All right. 4 mid for 10. Remember, you're enhancing with Nightmare every time, just in case they block. So they block and they mill. Let's just assume they milled, no attacks. I just assume the worst. Like, if you hit 1, it's great. If you hit 2, awesome. 3 never happens, but you know. You can also, ooh, let's save this. So what are they gonna do? Block this and take 5 again? Or are they just gonna eat 10? It's 4 speed. They already blocked the first one. Let's just say they magically block and take 5. Okay, whatever. So you mill, probably hit nothing, whatever. On a 6. 5, 6, comes in at +2 damage. Enhanced Hell's Reach, Enhanced Nightmare, they're not blocking anymore. So now you can commit for +4 damage. That is a 14 damage throw. So damn, we dealt 24 damage. Do we do it? 5, 6, 7. If we check a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What a stupid deck. All right, they take 10. Man, that's crazy. All right, I've had enough of that. The deck is so silly. So that is Budget Nightmare. It's like a $30 deck probably. This deck's so stupid. You just play throws and they block the throws or they take damage. Like they block and they take 5 or 6, pick it up, play it again. It's like, it's so bad for the opponent. What I really like about the deck is the personalization. I really like the buddy blocks and the Suzaku throw. Like I've never seen that in a deck that's like not Suzaku. Like people don't play this in a deck that isn't Suzaku or like Turn Moose, for example. But like character blocks, like this deck actually made me realize how good character blocks are. Because I remember back in 2006 and 2007 when UFS first came out, not a lot of cards had blocks on them, so we actually played characters as blocks. Like I remember playing Universal Fighter in my 3rd place deck at Worlds in 2007 because we needed blocks. So like, I remember Jason, the owner of Jasco Games, he always puts buddy blocks in his deck. So like, this actually opens my eyes a little bit to how good buddy blocks are. And like, even when I was testing, as I said, when I was testing this deck against people and just like ripping people apart with it, they were like, I know you have the buddy block at that +0 block and it's gonna block my attack. And I'm like, You know? So I'm actually really glad I made this deck because, yeah, like the characters are so cool. Like, you see them. I remember when I was playing the deck, I would check Melina. I'm like, what's up, Melina? Nice to see you. Now my throw is 9 damage, you know? So yeah, the review step is really important because if you have a character and you didn't block with it, you just review it, you know? There's also other ways to pitch characters to get them in your discard pile. Like if you're stuck with lightning torches in your hand, right? And you have a character in your hand and like you're trying to get it in your discard pile, if you have Azure Nightmare, you just discard the character and now your Suzaku throw is like a 9 damage throw. So yeah, I like this deck. I'm gonna keep this deck together. This deck's really fun. I like it. As you can tell, I like this deck. So, all right. Anyways, like, what I'm gonna do, as usual, put all the cards in the shopping cart at legendarywolfgames.com, total it up, put it on the screen, and you'll see actually how cheap this deck is. Really, the expensive cards are the action cards. Like, the Dark Tournament Looms is like $2 a piece, I'm pretty sure, and I Grant You Death is like $1. So like there's $6 right there, but like everything else is like common and uncommon. True Identity is $2, whatever. Depending on the characters you get, they could be like 25 cents to $1. So like whatever characters that you want to get. So yeah, this is a sweet deck. I enjoy this deck. I like this deck a lot. Anyways, this video is sponsored by LegendaryWolfGames.com. Get all of your UFS cards and other TCG singles at LegendaryWolfGames.com. .com.